Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. Wow, it's been something. So yesterday, my original roommate was discharged. So I don't know, about 4:45, they brought in a new roommate. Now I'm rarely ever in my room. I just happened to be at that time, but like a few minutes after she got there, I left because I don't spend time in my room. I just like to be out rolling around, and I come outside on the patio, stuff like that. I like to read in the cafeteria and have coffee and stuff. So I'm rarely ever in my room. So I decided to go to bed early last night because I was like kind of headachy and stuff yesterday. So the doctor comes in and he tells my roommate she tested positive for COVID. She wasn't happy because I guess they tested her at the last facility she was in 3 days ago. It was negative. And I guess like during transportation from one facility to the other, they kept asking her to take off her mask. Now, this woman prefers to wear a mask, especially under such conditions. This is her right. And she seemed very fearful to not have it on. Okay, so when they told her she was positive, I heard her talking to her sister, and she goes, "Can you believe this?" She goes, "I kept telling you guys I want to keep my mask on." Okay, now I'm the opposite of her. I don't like wearing a mask. I don't think it's necessary. Now, when I do go through the halls, I do wear a mask because, they prefer that you do. They require it, and that's okay. I get that, so I wear mine, but I don't really care to. And in my room, in your room, you're allowed to take it off. Well, my roommate wanted hers on all the time. Anyway, so the doctor comes over to me, and he says, "We're going to, put you in another room because she tested positive." She had no symptoms. Um, he asked me, "Have you ever had COVID?" I said, "No." He said, "Have you ever been vaccinated?" I said, "No." He goes, "Have you been exposed?" I said, "Oh, yeah, big time over Christmas." I explained, my mom being in the assisted living she was in, and I was going to see her, and I was exposed to a lot of people who had COVID. And they're so understaffed. I would have to go in and wheel my mother out so we could visit. I would go get her lunch, or, if she needed a drink or something. So I was, I had a mask on, but I was exposing myself. I never got sick. So anyways, the doctor, he's like, seemed like he was having trouble making a decision. He says, "I don't feel that you have been exposed because you and your roommate are way more than 6 feet apart. She hasn't even used the bathroom here yet. And you're never in your room." He goes, "I don't really think you've been exposed." I said, "Okay." So I go to my new room, and they did say, "Tonight we want you to stay in your room." I said, "Well, I'm done. I'm ready for bed. I'm done for the night." Next morning, like this morning, I find out, no, this is for all day long. And I'm like, wait a minute. The doctor said I wasn't even really exposed. Why do I need to be stuck in my room? And they all know I can't stand to stay in the room. I can't. I just have to wander around. I told them, I said, if this happened after the week of my surgery, it would have been fine. I mean, I'd say for about 5 to 6 days after my surgery, I didn't even feel like getting out of bed. And it wouldn't have bothered me. I was so out of it that, not having a cigarette didn't bother me. It was just really bad after my surgery. I said, but now I feel fine to the point I sometimes forget I have a badly broken leg that I can't move. And, and they know I was very independent, very active. I'm not used to sitting around doing nothing. So, I'm sitting in the room, and it's very small. I had the choice of my wheelchair, which I'm sitting in, or the bed, which was right next to my wheelchair. And that was it. I mean, it was like a space of maybe 5 feet. And I'm going, I can't live like this. So I guess they talked to the doctor and everything. And they're going to test me tonight. They're much nicer about it at this place. The last hospital I was at, they tested me twice. They shoved that swab so far up my nose, I think it hit my brain. Oh, it was awful. Here, they do it a different way. They still use a swab up your nose. They do it on both sides here, but they don't go really far up. It's very easy. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I've been tested 3 times in the past 2 weeks, and it's all negative. But anyways, the doctor said since I don't really, he said he had to wait to find out the guidelines for the CDC, which, that just, through this whole ordeal, I have been watching my doctors, which are good doctors, having to kowtow to others, like the insurance company, and with this doctor, the CDC. And it's like, with all the training these doctors have had, and I trust them. Now, I've come across doctors I don't trust. Doctors, I've been lucky these past couple of weeks to have doctors I trust, and their hands are always tied. And this guy, he's like, you haven't been exposed, but I have to wait for the CDC, and then your test. And it was too hard. I'm like, I'm sitting there, I have nothing to do but read. And I read for a while, and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So they talked to the doctor. He said, look, as long as when she leaves her room, she wears masks, she could go about her business like she has been, rolling around the hospital, spending time in the cafeteria, going outside, whatever. Now when I'm outside, I don't really need it. So that's okay, but it's like the whole thing. I mean, come on, after all this time, we've had so many variants, and it's been a few years. It's not like it used to be. And I was talking to one of my physical therapists, and she's fed up with it. And, she feels the same way I do. It was done intentionally, and now it's more or less control or a scam. And I looked at her, I said, unfortunately, she says she can't wait till the mask thing is over. I said, unfortunately, you guys are going to be the last to not be required to wear a mask. She goes, no, if it ever ends. And it's really sad. But my doctor, he's like, he's like, you weren't really exposed. So he's letting me do it this way with the mask and stuff. So I guess I'll find out tonight if I get COVID. I mean, over the last 2-3 months, I've been exposed so many times, and I haven't gotten it. Hopefully I don't, because I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm stuck in the room. Now, my nighttime nurse tech on the weekend, she likes to crochet and do art and things like that. So she's bringing me some pencils and paper so I could draw. And she's going to bring me some yarn and a crochet hook so I could, work on some crochet. She does origami. I have never done origami. She's going to teach me how to do that. She says, you seem like a person who needs to have their hands busy. I said, well, yeah, you know what they say about idle hands. And she goes, yeah, well, idle hands, how'd she put that? Idle hands give birth to negative thoughts. And it does. I really believe that. So she's going to bring that stuff back because she's my nighttime nurse. She left already. She's going to bring stuff for me to do tonight, especially in case it does come up positive. They've been doing everything. It's like I have kind of like claustrophobia. I can't stand being caged in, especially in such a small space. My side of the room is like really tiny. But anyways, that's what's been going on for the past, 24 hours. It's been really weird. I'm like, what? That I wandered around the facility my mother's in, exposed myself to 20 people with COVID, and now this. But anyway, I had a really bad night. My nurse always gives me 10 milligrams of oxycodone about a half an hour before I'm ready to go to sleep. Carries me through the night, no pain, I'm fine. So about 9:30 last night, she gave me my oxy. 1:30 in the morning, I wake up. The pain was so bad, I think I must have moaned out loud. And she came in the room, she goes, are you okay? I said, I'm having really bad pain. I said, you gave me the oxy, right? I remember that. She says, yes, I did. She goes, you want to try some muscle relaxant? I said, if you think it'll work, yes, because it was too early to give me more oxy. She gave me that and it worked. I woke up a couple more times, but I'm like really tired because I didn't sleep well. But thankfully that muscle relaxant worked and got me through the rest of the night. And then I was born with hip dysplasia, which is in the same leg as the broken leg. So I'm starting to have problems with my hip. It's sore because of not moving. I started having problems with bursitis when I was 12, and I had learned right away if my hip is bothering me, I need to stretch and move. Stretch it, walk, do something. Well, I can't do that right now. So, right now, she has a pillow under my hip to kind of lift the weight off the wheelchair from my hip. And she's probably said she's going to get me a heating pad later. So that should help. But yeah, in some respects, it's good. It's the same, it's my bad leg, and in some not. But, anyways, so everybody keep your fingers crossed I don't have COVID. If I did get COVID, I'm not the type of person that gets illnesses like that. I think the last time I did, my oldest son, John, who'd be 35 now, he must have been about 3. So, yeah, it's been about like 30 some years, 32 years. I don't get sick that easy. It's just with weird stuff like broken legs, strokes, stuff like that. So just keep your fingers crossed for me. I don't want to be stuck in the room. So I'll leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.